early for once. I'm like a minute and a half early for once, ladies and gentlemen. Good to see you all. Happy Friday to all of you. I hope that you had a good week. And look at this, Caribbean House is in the house. How are you doing, Caribbean House? Good to see you. How you doing, Scott Hummer? Good to see you. Young Prepper's in the house. JT is in the house. Jan is in the house. And I believe there's Copernicus. How you doing, Copernicus? Good to see you, ladies, today. Thank you for being here. Let's see. Randy Brown, how you doing? Just in case some of you haven't caught the new Friday live shows, all right? The TGIF Fridays. This is all yours, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about, whatever you want to bring up. I know that if you watched the video I put up this morning, I said we can talk about that. And it's about how we, as the United States of America, and I would say the Western world as a whole, we're in the last, the last vestiges of an empire failing. I'm not sure if you saw the article that came out that said that there's a bipartisan bill that's, I'm not even sure if it's already been pushed through or not, that says that we have to find cheaper metals in order to mint the coinage that we currently mint. So, we are at the very last steps of doing as much debasement as we can possibly do before the system fails. So I consider that actionable intel, because if there were a time in the last 100 years where I would say that you should consider, putting away your wealth in something that will preserve it, that it's now. Whatever that may be. It can be a can of corn, right? It can be a can of corn if you eat corn. That's a great way to preserve your wealth with the way that prices of food is going, right? But let me see. This is how I like to preserve my excess wealth, with silver. And I wanted to show you this because I wanted to say thank you very much to the person that left me this. A person went into Alaska Rare Coins, bought this coin, and left me a little note on the back of the receipt. And that was a while back. I just forgot to mention it last Friday. So thank you. I hope that you're watching and that you know who you are, obviously. So thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, you really don't have to do that, but I do appreciate it, right? Is it an RC? Yeah, it's an RC coin. Very nice. So thank you. But going back to what I was saying, I saw a comment here. It was kind of funny. Someone said that I got them scared-ish less. So I hope that any information that I bring you, that it doesn't sound like you need to panic. I believe that we need to be preparing actively all the time, right? For anything. But what's in front of my face right now, the most, is seeing how, number one, our economy is failing. No matter what they're telling you on the news, our economy is failing. And the reason for our economy failing is because our fiat currency, unfortunately, is failing as well due to the policies and the regulations put forth, mainly by the government and by the Federal Reserve. So this is the time that you really have to be considering, what are you going to do if tomorrow you wake gasoline is $27 a gallon? What are you going to do if a loaf of bread is $15, a loaf, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? My wife went to Fred Meyer here. I think it was sometime last week. She went to Fred Meyer to get some lunch meat cuts. I really like that boar's head low sodium ham. I really like that. It's like my very favorite. So once in a while, we'll go and get we get it usually by the half pound because it's pretty expensive by the pound. But she got a pound of everything that she was going to get. She wanted to make a ketovore friendly pizza, right? So she needed cheese to make the crust and all that kind of stuff. But she brought back, I would say, probably about 5 pounds of different cuts of either cheese or meats. Like, I think she got some pepperoni, she got some ham, I believe she got some chicken, and then she got some Munster cheese and some American cheese. Those 5 pounds, ladies and gentlemen, was almost $100. So do you really think, that things are, if you're in the camp of that, things are all right, they're going to get better. Do you really think that they're getting better than they were 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 2 years ago? And do you think that they're going to continue to get better going down the line? as far as what you're seeing? Or do you think that maybe you ought to be more actively preparing for the inevitable? And the inevitable is going to be one of two things. It's going to be that our currency is going to fail, our fiat currency is going to fail. And when I say fail, I don't mean that it will disappear. I mean that it's going to fail us in a big way, either because, other countries will refuse to take it in trade. Therefore, all of the dollars that are outside of our borders will rush back in and inflate the money supply like you've never ever seen before in the history of mankind. Or that other countries will still continue to take it, but that we will be forced to live hand to mouth, meaning that we will be forced to put a value to a dollar, to our dollar, dependent on what we can produce. So either one of those scenarios, either one is not a good scenario for we, the American people. If you are a millionaire or a billionaire that has most of your wealth in assets, in actual tangible assets, in art, in yachts, in expensive cars, expensive paintings, expensive properties, all of those things go up with inflation. But regular people, your average layman out there, like myself, like yourself, that goes and works a job and gets paid either by the hour or by a salary, your average people out there, they don't have $45 million Picassos. They don't have $250 million yachts that is going to go up in value with inflation. They usually have enough in the bank to take care of a very small emergency, and they are usually praying to the good Lord that they can keep their job for another couple of months so that they won't lose the roof over their head. So that, ladies and gentlemen, you've probably seen me touch on the financial part or the economy part of prepping a little more than usual lately, and it's because of that. And it's going to take a very big event. It's going to take some kind of a crisis, be it man-made or natural. It doesn't matter. It's going to take some kind of a crisis that occurs that will have the American people begging for help. Because remember now, about 60 or 70% of American people, American workers, only live paycheck to paycheck. If they lose their job, they're in the streets in a month or two, or however long the eviction process takes. Remember that 60-something% of American workers, they don't have $400, $500 in the bank for an emergency. Remember that 30+% of millennial adults, children that are adults now, that are millennials, that they're back home living with their parents. And another 25 or 30% of those same millennials, not picking on millennials, it's just data, right? Another 25, 30% of those same millennials that aren't living with their parents rely on their parents so that they can pay one or more of their bills. So what do you think we should be preparing for right now? I believe that what's going on in the East with the big R and the big U, I think, my opinion, ladies and gentlemen, all right, my opinion, and you can agree or not agree. That's okay. We can agree to disagree if you don't agree. But I believe that that was all fabricated years ago so that we would have a reason now. All right, the government would have a reason to give the people why it needs to print trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars, right? In the last 2 or 3 years, we have printed as a nation, the United States of America has printed more than 40% of all of the money that's ever existed since the creation of the United States of America, since our birth. In 2 or 3 years, we've printed and put out about 40% of all of the money that's ever existed in our nation. Ladies and gentlemen, what we are about to experience, I would say, in the next year, maybe month, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 years. I hope that it's 4 or 5 or 10 years. That way we have more time to prepare. But it's inevitable what's coming down the road. What we are going to experience is going to be something that I believe personally has never been experienced by humanity. The debt cycle that we've created for ourselves is something that's never been seen as long as humanity has been on this earth. So continue to prepare and don't get scared. Get prepared. Understand that there are still things that you can do no matter what part of the socioeconomic ladder you're in. Whether you make a little or whether you make a lot, there is always something that you can do to get better prepared. Remember that about 95% of Americans don't even prepare. About 98% of Americans have never even touched a silver coin. Do you know that there is not enough silver in the world right now for every human on earth to get 1 ounce of silver? Did you know that, ladies and gentlemen? So imagine what getting 1 ounce of silver, maybe once a month, would mean to you if things did go south. And what would it mean if nothing ever happened? It would mean that you would leave your children some silver and that they would be able to enjoy it. Or it would mean that you would be able to cash it in later on in life and be able to spend it on something that you either need to spend it on or want to spend it on. In other words, what harm does it do to be a little bit of proactive now that we can, now that it's still available, so that you can preserve some of your wealth? But that is truly up to you, ladies and gentlemen. Let me say hello to all of you. You see the dogs here? Look at the pups. Here they are. Karma, you want to say hi? They're like, no. They're not feeling it right now, ladies and gentlemen, because their mom is gone. She went to pick up little Miss Alaska Prepper from school. All right, so how you doing, Luke? Good to see you, my friend. I know that I took a long-winded hello there, but let's go ahead and say hello anyways, even though we're a little bit in no. Hello, Lisa. Good to see you. Sparky is here. Storm Rider, hello. Let's see. Faye, how are you doing? Good to see you. Rakamas is in the house. Tab P, how are you? Good to see you. Nancy McDaniel, Dave Simmons, how are you? Velo. You know what? Maybe next week we'll go back to 2 p.m., all right? But I'll let you all know what time the next live stream is going to be. It'll probably go back to 2 p.m. That kind of is a better time for me, actually, 2 p.m. than 3 p.m. But since I told you all it was going to be 3 p.m. today, that's what we made it. Velo, how are you? Colorado Pack Rat Prepper. Good to see you. Busted Beak, hello. Let's see. Southern Tier Prepper, how you doing? A9, Potato Head. JC Neal, how are you? Vision Preparedness, happy Friday to you. TGIF. Karen, how are you? Crazy Prepper Linda. Steph L. Sven Holgrim, how are you doing? All the way from Norway. Good to see you, my friend. Diana 2. Salty Dog is in the house. Michael Eversberg, how are you doing, brother? Shinvin, Quest Conquest, Betty, Amy, D, Fluffin Time. Michael Golpe, how you doing? Ali's channel is here. How you doing, Ali? A nurse for you. How are you? Welcome. You finally made it. Well, welcome. Nice to have you. Keely Who, Nancy, Free at Last. How are you, Free at Last? Dragon Dreams, Teresa, Patricia, Constance Faulkner. How are you? All the way from Gulfport, Mississippi. Autos Grammy, SR. How you doing, my friend? Amazing Grandma. Hello. How are you? Stacy, Kim, Linda. Linda Bop is in the house. Happy Friday. Urek Repmu. I believe. You know what? I'll give it a try. Urep Repmu. I'm not sure if that's right. I probably just destroyed that name, but welcome anyways. Who's your pioneer? Trump Be Cool is in the house. Devil Dog from North Michigan. Sandy, how you doing? All the way from New York. Jackie Perez, Troll is here. Janice Weichel, how are you doing? I still haven't even sent you all my phone number, and I remember telling you I would last time. I will. Trust me, I will. Gosh, that's terrible. Winter Homestead, how are you doing? I want to know about the banks closing. You know, I haven't really kept up with those bank closures. This is what I believe is going to happen with banks, ladies and gentlemen, as things get worse. Now you all know that they are trying or talking about coming out with a CBDC, right? And I wish I would have pulled up this quote that I read this morning early, but it was by a gentleman saying, you know, that with banks, they were able to control just a region, right? So earlier in the years of the United States of America, this gentleman was bragging that with banks, with just regular regional banks, they were able to control their states, right? But it was a big celebration when they were able to institute the Federal Reserve Bank, because with central banks now, instead of only being able to control a state, they can control an entire nation. Right. So with banks, what I think is going to happen is that they are going to shrink in size, the number of banks. I think that they are going to let the smaller banks fail and not bail them out, and then instead bail out the big banks when the event occurs, right? The big event that has to happen. They'll bail out the big banks, and then when all of the dust settles, we will have a few big banks. I don't know, 2, 3, maybe 4 or 5, but we'll only have a handful of big banks, and then all of the little mom and pop banks and credit unions will all be gone, and then we will be under the control of those banks. Because imagine this, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we understand how banks create money out of thin air, right? It's not really the Federal Reserve that does it. It's really the banks under the Federal Reserve that does it. But the Federal Reserve is there to service the banks, to take care, to make sure that the banks succeed. So we all know that the banks create money out of thin air right now, but at least we have thousands of banks. Yes, they're not good. The system by which we are governed, the banking system by which we are governed, it's not good. But at least there's a whole bunch of them, which still creates a little bit of competition, and a little bit of check and balances, right? But imagine when the banks are condensed to 5 or 6 big banks. Imagine what it'll be like then with this ESG. And now that I don't even know if this has happened or not yet, if this bill has been pushed through or if it was executive order. I just heard of this ridiculous thing that this administration is going to make it so that if you have a high credit score, that you will be charged a higher interest rate for your loan than someone with a lower credit score will, because that's a way of being more equal. I think it's ridiculous, because what they're going to do by doing that is people with high credit scores, they're just not going to take out loans. And they probably don't need to take out loans. That's why they have high credit scores. But I digress on that one. But that's what I think will happen with banks. How you doing, Ann Barry? Good to see you. That's what I think will happen with banks, is that eventually they're going to be condensed into just a handful, and all of the smaller banks will go away. I'm not saying that's going to happen tomorrow, but that's just what I see happening. And see, how you doing? Good to see you. Angela, how are you? Elizabeth Ward, good to see you. The 49 state is in the house. Mike Laws. Oh, nice, man. I'll tell you what, there's still snow outside, obviously. If you've seen any of my latest videos walking or whatever, you'll see that there's snow outside. Hillbilly Prepper's in the house. Karen Covington, how are you doing? All the way from Alabama, Birmingham, of course. Passionate Herbs, Doug, how you doing? Roy Soto. Let's see. Constance, how you doing? Pinball Preparedness is in the house. How you doing, Pinball? Good to see you, brother. Welcome, man. Randy Brown, Helen, the Survival Buzz. Let's see, who else we have. Margarita Castaneda, how are you doing? Good to see you. Happy Friday to you. Hello, Heather. Gretchen Davis, hello. Let's see. If you have anything that you want to share with the community, go ahead and put it in all caps, ladies and gentlemen, or any questions, put it in all caps. I'm going to go all the way down because I know that I have a couple of super chats, and I don't want to be too late in saying thank you. Let's see. Purple Flurple Perps. First time. Well, thank you very much for being here. That's awesome. Welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and welcome Purple Flurple Perps to our community. Welcome. Let's see. Who else do we have in here? Let's see. Michael says, my granddaughter, Aria, did want to be here tonight, but she had to finish her school. Well, school comes first. All right. School comes first. Very important. Well, tell her I said hello. Tell her I said hello. If on the rerun, hello, Aria. Good for you for choosing homework. Oh, for Boar's Head, pinball, $13 a pound over there. Here it's like 16, 17. I saw some things that were like $21 a pound from the cutlets that she, from the like sandwich meat that she brought back from Fred Meyer's. Yeah, I saw some things that were $18 a pound, $21 a pound. That's pretty ridiculous. But it is what it is. Evita, how are you? Good to see you. JR, how are you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Italian Eddie is in the house. How you doing? Liz Watson, hello. Rudy, have you ever tried 4 Patriot solar generators? Thank you for all you do. Anyone that's been here for a while knows that I don't like to throw any company under the bus. It's just not my style. But please go ahead and do your homework before you purchase anything, even if I recommend it. All right. I actually have a review video coming out tomorrow. I have a review video of a little EcoFlow Mini, which is, man, I'll tell you what, these machines are getting better and better every year that goes by. And I attribute that to competition. I think competition is great. It gives you, the end consumer, a better product. But I did put out a video a while back, and I believe the title of it is something like, this is what I look for in a solar generator, or what size solar generator should you have, something like that. And I give you 4 or 5 different things that I look at whenever I'm looking at a solar generator to determine whether it's a good deal or not. One of them is, what kind of batteries does it have? Does it have a good battery like a LifePole 4? And now they even have semi-solid LifePole 4 batteries, which are the kinds that they use in electric vehicles, which are very good, safe batteries, right? These are, the new ones are the semi-solid. But LifePole 4 batteries are excellent batteries. They give you a long lifespan. It's one of the things I look. The second thing I look for is, how much are you paying per watt hour? So if you're buying a unit that's 1,000 watt hours and you're paying $2,000 for it, means you're paying $2 per watt hour, you're getting ripped off. Now, I have no idea how much this 4 Patriots cost. I'm just giving you examples. Another thing I look at is what is the output? What is the continuous output? Is the continuous output 1,200 watts, meaning that can you run 1,200 watts worth of stuff out of it continuous without it tripping? So the higher the continuous output, the better. Like, for example, your OPS 2400 here, the continuous output is 2400 watts continuous. All right, so what's your continuous output? The higher, the better. And then I also look at your input. What's your input capacity? What's the solar capacity for input? For this OPS right here, the solar input capacity is, I believe, 960 watts for solar, and I believe it's like 400 watts for AC, which I kind of like when you have a higher solar input capacity than AC, because a solar generator really is for when grid goes down. And if your solar generator is fully charged when the grid goes down, you use it, right? But the higher the input capacity is for your solar, the better during a grid down situation. What good is a high AC input going to do for you during a grid down situation, with the exception that you want to charge it with a gas generator or something like that? So I look for those different things when I'm looking at a solar generator and comparing it to others. So if you compare their solar generator to someone else's, to a different brand, and then you can take a look which one is best for you. All right. Uncle Charlie, how are you doing? Good to see you. Let's see. Okay. Bringing it down. I'm really far behind the scene. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to see if I miss any questions. I'm just going to scan for all caps. Southern Tier Prepper, what do you think is a realistic timeline for the entire banking system to collapse? Well, the thing is, Southern Tier Prepper, is the frog in the boiling water, right? The entire banking system started collapsing from the day that it was created. The reason being is because this fiat currency system that we're in, it has a timestamp. It has a best buy date, or it has an expiration date. So it's not what's the time frame, it's that it's been collapsing since the beginning. We are just in the latter stages of that collapse, right? It's just like inflation. We've had hyperinflation for the last 100 years. It's just been in slow motion, right? But with inflation, the last 10 to 5% is the fastest move. So meaning that by the time that we find out when this system is going to be over, it's already going to be over. It's going to happen very fast. But right now, it's happening right now. The system is collapsing right now as I speak. But who is going to prepare now that we know that the system is collapsing, not very fast, but in slow motion, and it's getting faster and faster and faster? Or who's going to wait until it's too late to prepare? The way that you can determine how fast a system is going to collapse is like, for example, let's take a cup. And I did this example once on a video a long time ago. But if you put one drop of water in a cup, it doesn't look like anything. To double that drop of water. So the second is 2 drops. The third is 4 drops, then 8 drops, then 16 drops. Eventually that cup is going to be half full. And then the very next step after that cup is half full, the cup is going to be overfull. That's how fast inflation and hyperinflation will take hold. Take a look at Venezuela, take a look at Zimbabwe. Those are 2 very good current examples of what I believe we're going to turn into here in the United States if we keep going down the same road that we've been going down. Sweepers girl, how you doing? Good to see you. Country girl, thank you very much for the super chat. Do you have any recommendations on books that can help you buy precious metals? Also, do you think you will do any ketovore freeze dry videos for us? I'm actually working on a ketovore freeze dry video right now as we speak. My freeze dryer is going. I'm hoping to have that video out maybe by Sunday or Monday, but we'll see. It's very simple, by the way, very simple video, but it's something that I believe that we need to prepare for big time right now. Especially if you're on a low carb diet as I am. And let me tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, my wife's doing it too. And it is, man, my wife's always had a lot of medical issues in her lifetime. And doing this has really helped her a lot. She's only been doing it for like the last 2 months, maybe a month after I started. And she's been doing it at a little bit slower, at a little bit slower pace, meaning transitioning from the amount of carbs that she eats on a daily a little slower than what I have. But man, I can tell the difference already just in the way that she looks, her skin and everything. I think it's a good thing. Maybe it's not for everyone, but I definitely know that it is for me and my family. Any recommendations on books? You know what? I think I don't like reading books very much. But I think that if you follow some YouTube channels that are very good, like Wall Street Silver, SD Bullion has a great YouTube channel with great information. All right. If you follow, let me see, Arcadia Economics, Hersey Financial, Johnny Bravo. If you follow, channels like that, I think they're going to give you a lot more information and you're going to get a lot more educated. Gerald Celente is a great person to know about precious metal. Peter Schiff, another awesome, precious metal guy to look at. So I can recommend to you those channels, and I'm sure there's more. Go check out RTD, Rethinking the Dollar with Michael from Detroit, Michigan. Another great channel on finance. Take a look at Salivate Metal, another great channel about silver. There's a whole bunch of great channels on silver, on precious metals on YouTube. I would recommend them over getting books. But if you want to take a look at a book that's not too old, I believe go to Amazon and look up Michael Pento, Pento. Right, this guy is very brilliant, and he just put out a book not too long ago. I actually got the audio book, and it's really more to do with how the bond market is going to be the catalyst for the great event, as I like to call it. But that guy's another guy that's got more books that's awesome at precious metals. So there's just a lot of resources out there, ladies and gentlemen. And the internet is a great thing. Let me see. Marsense, how are you, Marsense? Longtime subscriber. Oh, thank you, Marsense. It's good to see you here from North Atlantic, Newfoundland, Canada. Well, you're to my south. Well, welcome, Mar. Thank you very much for being here. R. Mason, how you doing? Good to see you. All right, I'm bringing it down. All right, let's see. Man, I'm so sorry that I'm like 20 minutes late to say thank you. Cutting Tool Designer, thank you very much for the super chat. Very generous. Thank you very much. And guess what? It's funny that you say that, Cutting Tool, because May, for those of you that have been here for a while, let's see if anyone can guess, all right? Go ahead and leave it, and I'm going to bring it all the way to the bottom. For those of you that have been here for a while, like the last 2 or 3 or 4 years, what do we always do in the AP community towards the end of May? What do we always do towards the end of May? All right, go ahead and leave it in all caps to see if anyone can figure it out. Ann Palmer from the great state of Louisiana. How are you doing, Ann Palmer? Good to see you. So for those of Hawkeye is in the house. Hawkeye, what is up, my brother? Good to see you, man. Say hello to Sandra. Hello. Michael Gold, Tom Larson, Eric T is in the house from Fairbanks, Alaska. How you doing, Eric T? Mad Mama. It's really good to see you guys. Really good to see you all here today. So again, what does the AP community do towards the end of May every single year? What have we done for the longest time? And let me tell you why, ladies and gentlemen, I can continue to do this. I'm not going to sit here and cry to you, oh, YouTube revenue's down. It's not about that. But yes, YouTube revenue is down. Who cares? It is what it is, right? God will provide, right? And that is 100% true. But my sponsors, whenever you see one of my videos and you see that it's sponsored, that's why I'm going to be able to do what I do here coming May. But I want to see if you all remember. Who here remembers? What do we do at the end of May every year? And we're going to be doing it this year as well. And we'll continue to do it as long as I can. I give you my word as far as that goes. Right. I'm bringing it down. Let's see, unless I see something that's in all caps or something that says question. Is that Ma? I thought I saw Ma here. She might be here, but I haven't seen her yet. Let's bring it on down some more. Nanny Granny, how are you doing? Good to see you. It is what it is. Absolutely. How you doing, Fran? All-American Prepper, how are you doing? A Hobbit is in the house. Good to see you, Hobbit. Kate, all the way from Southern Indiana. Ultra Mega Preppers in the house. Okay, here we go. We've got do you think credit unions will be wiped out if they bail out a select few big banks? I think it's going to be the system, the entire system. And unfortunately, I love credit unions. I mean, I think credit unions are great, but the thing is that, credit unions use the dollar as well, and I don't know this for a fact, but if credit unions also, invest in U.S. bonds, then they're holding funny money, even more so than holding dollars. So, I'm not an expert when it comes to economics, ladies and gentlemen. I know just enough to get myself in trouble. But I think I do know just enough to see what's coming as clear as day. Anyone that has any common sense that just looks a little bit into the way that our financial system is run and our banking system is run knows that this can't last forever. It just can't. Someone is trying to call me. I think my wife forgot that we have a live stream today. Give me a second, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I'm in the middle of a live stream. Is everything okay? Okay. No, that's right. I just want to make sure everything was right. All right. Love you. Bye. All right, ladies and gentlemen, everything's all right. She just forgot that we had a live stream today. Tonette, how are you doing? Say hello to the hubby. I just spotted you there. You were hiding on me. What in the world? Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. This is where you got to go. Johnny's probably not even here anymore. It's been so long since he gave me the super chat. Ladies and gentlemen, Johnny Bravo is the place you got to go so that you can learn how to, look at what's going on in the markets. All right. So go check him out. And man, Johnny, I'm going to call you out. Johnny is freaking hilarious, man. So if you want to learn, the markets and you want to learn how to take a look at a chart, right? Go and check out Johnny Bravo. All right. Thank you very much, Johnny Bravo. Oh man, that's awesome. If one of our mods, can you please look up Johnny Bravo's YouTube channel and put a link up for it, please? Because I'm not just wait a minute. I think I just recommended Johnny Bravo on the last video. Yeah, I think I just recommended Jay Bravo on the last video. He goes by Johnny Bravo, okay? But yeah, I'm not just recommending him because he put a $10 bill up there. It's because I've been watching him for years. Okay, bringing it down some. Linda Bob, Linda, you asked, have you gone out and bought new pants that fit? No, no, not yet. I like the pants that I have now, and a belt takes care of that. So as long as I can wear them comfortably, I'm going to continue to wear them. I like these pants. Plus, in the wintertime, if I'm going to be going out for walks in the wintertime, I can put some long johns under them. All right. So having a little bit extra big will also help. Right. And who knows? Maybe I'll lose a few more pounds. Whatever happens, I don't really care as long as my health continues to get better. And actually, I have a video coming out in about a week and a half or so where I got my blood work. It's already up on Patreon, but it's going to come out here on this channel in about a week and a half or so. Obviously, you all saw that I have especially those of you that are like on Patreon and the members club. And I'm not trying to goad you into getting on Patreon or the members club, but I have a series, and the series that I started doing is about diabetes and the ketovore that I'm doing in my family. Every Tuesday, I will have a new video come out that has to do with that. So Tuesdays are going to be Keto Tuesdays, right? Where I put a new video of my series. So this next Tuesday is going to be episode 2, right? And then episode 3, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it's going to go on as long as it goes. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what time has to say. It's the me, Heather. How are you doing? Nostradamus, how you doing? Good to see you. Puddin, disabled and prepping. How are you? Good to see you. Yes, absolutely, Mario. Mario 123. By the way, hello, Mario. Good to see you. Yeah, Bravo is the man. And it's I've always said, I hate the stock market. I hate trading. I'll do it if I have to, but it's just not for me, but Bravo can teach you guys how to do it very well. I'm telling you, this guy is a natural born teacher. And he used to be a teacher in real life and a professor in college, but he's a natural born teacher / entertainer. Good guy too. Really good guy. Okay, bringing it down some. All right, did you all already put down there? Did you all already put down there what it is that we do here in the end of May? Because I'm starting to catch up. That's what I'm looking for. L. Kaler, how are you? Thank you very much, L. Kaler. You're very kind. Thank you for that. Christine Weaver, hello. Joyce Terra, how are you doing? Teresa Diaz in the house. Let's see. The Coffee Wife, how are you, Coffee Wife? Oh, thank you, Coffee Wife. You're going to make me blush. Would love more info on transitioning to keto. Take a look at my episode 1 that I just put up on last Tuesday, and then next Tuesday will be episode 2. Okay. And I have a little different spin. Every episode is a different spin. Some of them is me going out for a walk with you all, and some of them is me having dinner with you. Some of them is me showing you what I'm doing that day and talking about some different aspect of what I'm doing now as far as how I'm fighting diabetes. All right. Well, Bobby S. on Ketovore, you know what? If you get on YouTube and you look up Dr. Ken Berry, Dr. Shafee, I did a video here, I think a couple of weeks ago, and I listed all of the channels that I go to that have helped me with my journey here combating diabetes. But if you look, man, you'll find so many channels that are really great channels. Okay, really great channels. But really, I don't like to put a limit on what you can eat on ketovore or keto or carnivore, because we're all different. So like, for example, what ketovore means to me, this is what it means to me, is that I'm eating mostly non-plant-based foods or animal proteins and fats. Most of what I'm eating are animal proteins and fats. Now you can do one a day eating or what do you call it again when you intermittent fasting? You can do intermittent fasting if you like. You can eat as many times as you want. It doesn't matter for ketovore, but the way I see it is I'm eating mainly proteins and fats that come from animals. Excuse me. And the things that I'm eating that are plant-based are things that are very, very good in the diabetic index, right? And things that have almost no sugars or carbohydrates whatsoever. Like one of the things that I indulge in every once in a while is avocado. The little avocado cups that they sell at Costco, that's just avocado and sea salt. I eat a couple of those a week. I'm trying to wean myself off of those to where I'm just carnivore and all I'm eating is meat, water, and salt, pretty much, right? But it takes time. Some people can do it overnight, not me. I want to ease into it so that I don't suffer too much and that I can maintain that lifestyle, right? I don't just want to go cold turkey. But ketovore to me means that you have a few plant-based things along with your 98% animal protein, animal fat diet, where you're eating a very fat rich and protein rich diet, right? And in my case, I'm doing intermittent fasting as well, but sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'll go 48 hours without eating because I'm just not hungry. For example, the last time that I ate was yesterday around 12:30 noon, right? And I ate about a pound and a half of steak. What else did I eat? I think that's all I ate yesterday. It was about a pound and a half of steak. And I was full when I ate it. I wasn't full where I was like puking. I was very satisfied, but I'm not hungry. I haven't been hungry all day today, and I don't even feel like eating right now because my body's just satiated. I have everything that I need. The only thing that I eat that I've eaten other than that since yesterday was I had my coffee today, which I'm also trying to trim down a little bit, and I've also had my vitamin water, right? But it works great. But you have to do your own research on it, and you have to determine what's best for you. Because trust me, I looked into this a whole bunch before I even started considering and actually doing it. Yes, it is. Tammy says diet changes are always easier when done as a family, and it's really great that we're kind of like doing this as a family because everyone is seeing the benefits. So it's great. Well, Anne says keto worked well for me until I fell off the wagon. Now I'm worse off than ever. But it's okay to fall off the wagon as long as you pick yourself back up. Do not give up, Anne. Do not give up, Anne. It's okay to fall off the wagon. Just get back up on that wagon. Get your ass back on there. Don't give up. Hello, country girl. Thank you for being here. Okay, I'm bringing it down some. You guys are full of jokes today, huh? Okay, I'm going to read this one, even though I already see where it's headed. Let's see. Lone Wolf says, with the weight loss, if you colored the gray in your beard, you look like 21 again. And you and Victor can go out in public together and you'll be confused. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, I thought I was just gonna go off a cliff somewhere, but you're being very kind. Oh my goodness. No, that's not what we do here in May every year. Okay, She Wolf. She Wolf says that I send her a lifetime supply of nutrient survival coffee, the best coffee in the world, by the way. Let's see. Yes, it is food donation, food drive. We always do. You guys got it. We always do a food drive to the food bank, but specifically, we do a food drive to feed children that are not going to be going to school that summer that can't afford to eat at home. So you see, most children that can't afford really to eat at home, they eat two meals in school. They eat a breakfast and they eat a lunch. And then if they get home and they're lucky enough that there's food in the house, they maybe eat a dinner that night or a few nights a week. But a lot of children, they don't have that luxury. So since they're not in school, then what happens is the food bank fills in that gap by giving them what they call, I believe they call them protein bags or something like that. And it's a bag that has between like 700 and 1,300 calories worth of foods that I personally wouldn't approve of those foods, but it's not up to me to decide what goes in them. I just call Ms. Ann, which I already did. I called Ms. Ann. Where is it? Let's see. Oh, bone builder bags. I called Ms. Ann here not too long ago, and I got a list of the things that they need to build their bone builder bags. So that's the specific mission that we have here for May, is to get as many of the things that the food bank needs in order to fill those bone builder bags so that they can provide it to about 500 kids every day for, the next 8 or 9 weeks or something like that they're off. So that is our mission for this May, ladies and gentlemen. And again, like I was saying, thanks to my sponsors that sponsor my videos, I can take those, dollars, and I can put them to the side and earmark them for that. Because, the honest truth is that it's very important to me that we do this. It's very important to me that we continue to do this, not just because it's for my community here in Fairbanks, but because, ladies and gentlemen, it shows people that it's okay to give. I know that, in general, we've lost the art of knowing how great it feels to give to others and help those that are in need. And that's not all self-inflicted. When you're paying 40% of every penny or 50% of every penny that you earn in one tax or another, it's not very easy to give. When inflation is stealing, your life away, because now you have to work twice as much to be able to afford the same basket of food that you could afford 10 years ago, it's not very easy to give. But we need to remember that it is important that if we can, that we do. So it's important to me. I know some people get pissed off. Excuse me. Some people get ticked off. Why are you sponsoring your videos? Why have you sold out? Whatever. Think what you want to think if that's you. But to me, it means that I can get food to feed 500 kids for one day. Imagine that. All I'm doing is just getting enough food to feed 500 kids for one day. And then we still have another 9 weeks left to fill. And our community always takes care of that too. So we have a great community. There you go. Linda Bob got it right on. She hit the nail right on the head. Nanny Granny says, you're all coming over to my house to be fed. Well, now that I don't eat rice, ladies and gentlemen, I got plenty of rice to make you some rice and beans. Oh, goodness. Thank you very much for that. Thank you for that super sticker. Solar Independent Utility Systems Manual. Thank you. Let's see. Kush. Thank you, Kush. We wouldn't have a corrupt government if it wasn't for order followers who protect criminals, politicians. The enemy is domestic. Unfortunately, I have to agree. I mean, to a certain extent, I do understand that we have some file and rank, people in different three-letter alphabets. We have, file and rank and different organizations around the government. We do have good people. But this is the problem that I see. One of the problems that I see is that our government agencies, whichever it may be, they are so compartmentalized that not everyone knows that what they're doing is wrong, because they're just a piece of the puzzle. So they may be doing something that seems 100% innocent, but then when you take what they're doing and you connect it with what they're doing and them and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, then when you look at the whole picture from the 35,000 foot, view, then you can see what's going on. Be like, wow, this system is terrible. So in general, I think that we have good people. It's just that the way that they do things is so compartmentalized so that people don't know that they're doing wrong when they actually are. That, it is what we have right now. The only way that the system can be saved is by letting it implode, and so that we can start with a better system. Unfortunately, I wish that I was 100% wrong. I wish that we can save the system that we have now. But think about it. No matter what happens going forward, we're going to end up with a different system. Be it if there's a revolution, we'll end up with a different system. Be it if there's a civil war, we'll end up with a different system. Be it if we have a financial collapse, we'll end up with a different system. Be it if the dollar finally fails, we'll end up with a different system. So the reason that I'm here mostly is, are we going to be prepared to make it through that, through that event, right? And make it over to the next paradigm intact, and be able to continue and be able to lead. Hillbilly Prepper, what breed of chicken are you thinking of? I forget their name, but I believe it's the ones that have the fluffy feet that are really good in the winter. But I've got like 3 different people that I'm going to try to get chickens from. So in the end, I hope to end up with about 10 or 15 egg layers, so that they can crossbreed. And I'm probably going to end up getting an incubator, excuse me, so that we can crossbreed them and see if we can end up with an egg laying chicken that's a lot more hardy, that will make it through winters all right. I know that Billy Bob over at Little Alaska Home Place, I know that he has chickens that are really, really hardy and can make it through winters really good. So I talked to him, and he's going to see if he can hatch me some eggs as well. But we'll see. I'm pretty excited about the chickens. Okay, all right, bringing it down. Oh yeah, I did. So I did recommend Johnny Bravo in the last video. That's what I thought. Man, I'll tell you what, that Johnny Bravo, ladies and gentlemen, he does a I'm not spoiling anything, but he does a little skit every once in a while in his videos, and he calls this kid Skyler, right? He calls him Skyler. It's hilarious. And he also does another skit where where he acts like if he's his wife, and I think his wife's name on that skit is Karen or Gretchen, one or the other. It's hilarious, man. You have to watch it. Once you see Skyler or Karen one time, you'll always watch them, just looking for those. All right, here we go. Solar Independent Utility Systems Manual. I do not, but that's going to be one of my projects this summer. All right, I've already got everything that I need to do this. That's going to be one of my projects this summer. One of the reasons why I don't like to have like a permanent setup for solar is because of the winters and because of the snow, and because we don't get any sun. But I am going to have something that's going to be semi-permanent this summer, and I'm going to put it up, and it's going to work really good because it's going to have a lot of square foot, a lot of area, square footage area. So I'll be able to put up a lot of solar panels on it. All right, bringing it down some, looking for anything in all caps. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. It is Becky from Nutrient Survival. She's spying because I'm not used to this thumbnail. Hello, Becky. I talked to Eric today, by the way, Becky. He gave me a call and we talked. You know, ladies and gentlemen, let me talk about Nutrient Survival real quick. Of course, I cannot indulge in Nutrient Survival as much as I used to in the past. Why? Because Nutrient Survival is pretty much all plant-based, right? And it's pretty much all carbs, although it's not bad stuff. If you're not going to be a ketovore or a carnivore, like I have transitioned to and am transitioning to, then, and you're going to eat like regular carbs and stuff like that, then Nutrient Survival is the best you're going to get. Why? Because you definitely need the nutrition, right? You definitely need the nutrition. But that's not what I really wanted to talk about. I just thought I'd throw that in there. But Nutrient Survival, what makes them is two things. Two things makes Nutrient Survival what it is. Number one, they have the very best nutrient dense long-term food storage in the market, period. Right? The best. And number two, what makes them is their people. Their people are awesome. Today, I was talking with my wife. We were having a coffee, and I get a phone call. You know who it is? It's Eric Christensen, and he's the CEO of Nutrient Survival. And he just called me to say hello because we haven't talked in a month or so. You see, I'll never call Eric unless it's an emergency and I can't get a hold of Becky because he's the CEO. And I'm sure that he's very busy. So if I have any questions or anything like that, I always go through Becky. She's the first person that I always call, right? And then if it takes talking with Eric, then we make an appointment because his time, I have to take his time into consideration. He's running an entire company. But he took the time to give me a call just to see how I was doing. And that's what makes Nutrient Survival what they are. All right. The best nutrient dense food in the market, period. Not just their food and their product, but their people as well. And that's why I love those guys. And that's why I stand by those guys 100%. How you doing, Me Too? Good to see you. Kitsy, I know it can be pretty difficult. Yeah, ketovore, you pretty much eliminate all carbs, and you're allowed like maybe 10 or 20 grams of carbs per day. So in my case, if I eat a couple of those little avocado cups that Costco sells, that right there is about 6 or 7 carbs, right? So I usually have been keeping it down to like below 10 carbs per day. Net, not net carbs, total carbs. So a lot of people are like, "Whoa, how many net carbs?" And they might be eating 50 carbs, and of that 50 carbs, they're only eating net carbs of maybe 10, right, or 20. But I do total carbs. So in a day, I won't eat more than like 10 total carbs. So that's why I say it's kind of a luxury for me to be able to eat a couple of those cups of avocado, because those have like 3 grams each. And then when you add in the 2 grams of carbs that come in the heavy cream that I put in my coffee, that's it. I'm done for the day. So I have that once in a while. But yeah, it's not very easy at first because we're obviously addicted to sugar, and that's just the truth. Uh, but once you get over the addiction, it's really very easy. Like I said, I'm not even hungry. And it's been, what time is it? It's been 25 hours, roughly 27 hours since I ate last. I'm not hungry. I know I'm going to eat later on tonight because I do need to put some fat and protein into my body. But I'm not even hungry. It's not like I'm suffering. I'm not. And once you lose that chewing thing, the chewing thing, I've been satiating with gum, with sugar-free gum. But even that, I'm letting go a little bit at a time. Like today, I haven't had any gum at all. Why? Because I want to let all forms of sugar go, whether it's fake sugar or real sugar. All right. Why? Because I guess living a little bit of a longer life, I've realized is a little more important, than having a Pepsi or having pizza with a regular crust and all that kind of stuff. But it's an individual choice that we all have to make. And I don't take any, I don't see anyone in a lower light just because they decide to eat in any different way. We're all different, and we are all going to do what is best for us. Oh, I actually have 6 eggs planned for today, Margarita. I have 6 eggs that I'm going to be eating later on tonight. And I'm going to be eating that with some of, oh no, I'm all out of avocados. Hot darn, I have to go get some more. But I'll be eating, I was thinking that I was going to give avocados up this month, starting in May, but I'm going to go through the end of May before I give up all plant-based stuff. And in June, starting a pure 100% carnivore diet. But I'll have some eggs, and then I'll probably eat it with some steak. I have a little bit of steak left that I haven't eaten, so I'll eat it with that. But yeah, I'll probably end up having to put a little bit of extra suet or some butter on my steak because there's not enough fat in the steak that I'm eating. It's a pretty lean steak. Let's see. Amazing Grandma, those cookies are staying here. All right, those are going to be my starvation cookies. If the day ever comes where I have to count on my survival food for survival, guess what? Starvation food, ladies and gentlemen. I have no problem dipping into any of my long-term food storage. All right, if it means survival, no problem at all. Okay, bring it down. Okay, I'm just looking, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just looking to see if there's any questions here. Oh, you know what? You're right, Yarn Prepper. I forgot that Billy Bob changed his name. Southern Roots Alaskan Branches. Oh my goodness, another YouTube name that's like four. That's so long. Southern Roots Alaska. I just call him Billy Bob. That's all it is. I just call him Billy Bob. I haven't been watching that much YouTube, tell you the truth. I'm not even caught up with Billy and D. Okay, I'm not even caught up with them. Frontier Preppers. David Jones, how you doing? Good to see you. Oh, look at that. I'm pretty much caught up in the bottom. Hopefully I didn't miss any questions. What time do we have here? Oh, we're almost at an hour. Let's see. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're almost at an hour, and I'm not sure that I missed too many questions, of anything. Oh, that sounds good. Maybe I will have some bacon with those eggs. You guys are making. You see, now you're making me hungry. You're making me hungry now. If I missed any questions, we'll take a couple of minutes to go ahead and put it down so I can catch it. If not, we're going to call it for today, ladies and gentlemen. Again, listen, I have a review video coming out tomorrow. Check it out. All right, check it out, because this is actually a pretty nice little, it's a solar generator, as you know. That's like 95% of my reviews are solar generators, because I'm addicted to solar generators. What can I say? Evita says, what percentage of our preps should be freedom seeds, gold and silver, and food? Let me see. Whatever, it's really up to you. It's really up to you. I've always stated that as far as prepping precious metals to preserve your excess wealth, I believe that it's excess wealth that should go into it. So you should first have all of your other preps that you would need in order to live. You should have your food, you should have your shelter, you should have your water, your heat, energy, right? Freedom seeds. I believe that for every firearm that you have, you should have a minimum of 1,000 rounds per firearm in that caliber. And the more, the merrier. The more that you have, the better. There's no such thing as too much ammunition. Ask anyone that's been in a firefight for more than 30 seconds, right? You can dump an entire magazine of 30 with semi-auto, right? You can dump an entire magazine in like 10 seconds, right? So there's no such thing as too much. Oh, wow. The screen just lit up here. I don't know what's going on. All right. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, any of you that are new to the channel, meaning that you've subscribed like within the last couple of weeks, because we've had a few subscribers here in the last couple of weeks, please stay till the end and put "I am new" in all caps during our outro, so that the community can shout you out and welcome you into our community, right? So please do that. But before we go ahead and close out, stand by for our Friday safety brief, right? I'm going to make it really, really short. I saw a quick video today where a gentleman that was drunk was driving, hit a cop, and killed that cop. He got out of his car, not a scratch. He was drunk driving, he hit a cop and killed him. And he got out of his car, or it was a truck, he didn't have a scratch. Don't be like that. If you want to have a good time today because it's Friday, you had a hard week at work, by all means, go have a great time. If you want to have a drink, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy yourselves, all right? But don't drink and drive. And if you are going to drink, make sure that you go ahead and get yourself an Uber, a designated driver, a taxi, whatever it is. Just don't get in your vehicle. Not because you might get a DUI, not because your license might be suspended, but because you might do the same thing that guy did. He killed a cop and he walked out of it without a scratch. Now he has to pay for the rest of his life for what he done. And not only that, he just destroyed a family. So other than that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining in today. Thank you very much to all of our moderators. I love you, ladies. You all know that. Thank you for always being here. Have a great weekend, and then have a great week ahead, and then we'll see you all next Friday. Other than that, God bless every one of you. God bless America. I'm Alaska Prepper, and I'm out. Good night to everyone. God bless you all. Hey, Dale Cobb, how you doing? And here is our outro.